Welcome to the Explainer. Okay, let's dive right into this. Today, we're exploring an absolutely profound piece of text from A Course in Miracles. Specifically, we're focusing entirely on AICIM Lesson 128. If you've ever felt like you're just constantly chasing happiness only to come up short, the concepts we're going to unpack today are literally game changers. We'll break down the exact mechanics of why we feel so stuck, and way more importantly, how this text guides us to finally break free. And the whole thing kicks off with this core lesson. The world I see has nothing that I want. Now I get it. When you first hear that, it sounds kind of radical, right? Maybe even a bit stark. But stick with me here, because understanding this single sentence holds the absolute key to true mental peace. It isn't about giving up or being negative at all. Actually, it's about radically shifting exactly where you're looking for your joy. So here's the core problem established in the text. When we seek joy, salvation, or ultimate fulfillment out there in the external world, whether we're talking about status, physical objects, or specific outcomes, we are actually just setting ourselves up. The text explains that believing the world has what we need ultimately leads to years of misery, endless disappointments, and hopes that turn into, as it beautifully puts it, the bitter ashes of despair. Hoping for salvation from worldly things, it just leaves us completely empty, trapped in this exhausted cycle of constantly wanting more, but never actually being satisfied. Section 1. The Chains of Value. So, to understand exactly how we get trapped in this cycle, we first need to define what the text really means by valuing world. It's not just about, liking things. It's about creating these deep mental attachments. It's having rigid expectations and assigning this ultimate life-saving purpose to worldly things. When we believe an external thing is the true source of our happiness, we attach our whole identity to it. And the text argues that doing this actually severely limits our true selves. And this quote brilliantly illustrates that point. Each thing you value here is but a chain that binds you to the world, and it will serve no other end but this. I mean, just think about that imagery for a second. The text is framing our worldly values and attachments not as gifts, but as literal self-imposed chains. We think we're out there acquiring things that'll set us free or make us happy, but we're actually just forging links in a chain that keeps our mind anchored to stress and disappointment. So the crucial takeaway here is understanding exactly how these values become self-imposed chains. First off, what you value, you make part of yourself. You tie your identity right to it. Second, seeking greater worldly value actually limits you further, because you're defining yourself by things that are totally temporary and fragile. Third, it completely hides your true inherent worth from you. And finally, every single worldly attachment adds another heavy bar across the door that leads to the true awareness of yourself. You are essentially hitting the pause button on your own progress to inner peace just by giving ultimate purpose to things that, have none. Section 2. Escaping your self-imposed limits. Now notice the stark contrast here. Being chained to the world, that brings misery, endless disappointment, self-imposed limits, delay, and a whole lot of pain. But when we release the world, we find inner peace, freedom, sanity, and love. The text makes it absolutely crystal clear. We have to stop seeking hope where there just isn't any, in order to experience ultimate freedom and literally soar above the petty scope of things. Which brings us to a really fascinating question. What actually happens when you hold the world purposeless within your mind? Like, what happens when you look at all the aspects, phases, and dreams of the world, and you just let go of all those purposes you previously gave them? Section 3. The freedom of letting go. Well, the text uses this incredibly beautiful metaphor to answer that. It says that when you finally release your mind from those chains, you let it seek the level where it finds itself at home. It says your mind will be so grateful to be free for a while. If you free its wings, it's going to fly in sureness and an absolute joy to join its holy purpose. It will rest in its creator, there to be restored to sanity, to freedom, and to love. That is the magic of what happens when you loosen the world from all you wish it were. And we constantly have to remind ourselves of this powerful truth. The worthless offer nothing. Certainty of worth cannot be found in worthlessness. There is absolutely nothing in the external world worth a single instant of delay, pain, uncertainty, or doubt. Certainty of your own worth. You're never going to find that in external things that inherently hold zero lasting value. Section 4. Your daily practice routine. So conceptually, this philosophy is super profound, right? But how do we actually escape those chains today, in real life? Well, here is the foolproof checklist derived directly from Lesson 128. Step 1. Give it 10 minutes of rest 3 times today. Step 2. During those 10 minutes, actively let go of all thoughts of values you've ever given to the world. Leave it entirely free of the purposes you gave it. And step 3, open your mind to your guide. Just be completely still and rest. It's a daily practice of active, intentional release. And what's the payoff for this? The text promises a very tangible, real-world result. It says that when your eyes are opened afterwards, you will not value anything you see as much as when you looked at it before. Your whole perspective on the world is going to shift, just by a little bit, every single time you let your mind escape its chains. You're literally incrementally training your mind to experience true freedom. Section 5. Final thoughts and summary. Now, to maintain this newfound peace outside of those 10-minute resting periods, the text gives us some really specific instructions for mental defense. You've got to protect your mind throughout the day. First, watch out for the temptation to see value in an image or aspect of the world. When it happens, and trust me, it will, you must actively refuse to lay this chain upon your mind. You don't respond to that temptation with frustration, you respond with quiet, absolute certainty. And here is the exact mantra the text provides for those tricky moments of temptation. This will not tempt me to delay myself. The world I see has nothing that I want. Memorize this. Keep it right in your back pocket. Whenever you feel yourself getting stressed over a worldly outcome or you feel that heavy pull of attachment creeping back in, use this to block out the temptation and totally reset your perspective. Okay, so to give you a super clear, actionable takeaway, here is your daily practice summary based entirely on Lesson 128. Commit to 10 minutes of still rest 3 times today, where you just let go of all worldly value. And for the rest of the day, you're on mental defense. Repeat your core quote whenever you're tempted to attach your peace to an external outcome. Let's bring this all the way back to our core lesson statement one last time. The world I see has nothing that I want. Remember, guys, this isn't a statement of loss. It's the ultimate declaration of freedom. You are finally recognizing that what you truly need, peace, sanity, and love, cannot be found out there in the changing world because it's already perfectly safe right there inside you. I really hope this explainer provided you with a solid framework for finding some real inner peace today. But before you go, I want you to ask yourself this. What is one worldly chain you can actively choose to release today to finally free your mind? Think about it. If this explainer helped shift your perspective even just a little bit, please hit that like button and subscribe so we can keep diving into these incredible concepts together. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.